Joyce Watson.
And thank you for your annual update, Minister. As the Chief Veterinary Officer notes in the foreword to the consultation document, the eradication programme was always a long road and the long-term trends remain positive. We've allowed the science to navigate and our key stakeholders, farmers, vets and representative bodies to drive that forward. Successive Welsh Labour governments have been flexible in adapting the delivery plan, but we did draw a line at badger culling, and I'm proud that the Welsh Government's programme for government forbids the culling of badgers to control the spread of TB in cattle. The UK Government, by contrast, will only start phasing out badger culling in England next year. The Wildlife Trust estimates that by the time it ends, 300,000 out of an estimated population of 485,000 badgers may have been killed, wiping out populations in areas they had inhabited since the Ice Age. But back to today's statement, though, and back to that long road that you mentioned, and there has been plenty of talk here this morning about the cattle vaccination trial. And as you say, an effective cattle TB vaccine would be a hugely powerful tool. You've mentioned also that it's only one part of the toolbox. So I share your disappointment about the lack of participation by Welsh farmers. I'm assuming that you have discussed that with farming unions, and it would be very useful if you give any update on that, either now or in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you. So, in relation to your comments around our programme for government commitment that we will not permit the culling of badgers as part of the measures to deal with bovine TB, recent scientific studies have not provided conclusive evidence that culling badgers would reduce incident levels in cattle herds. And you mentioned England that have culled a huge number of badgers, but now they're withdrawing and backing down from that. And I do think the emphasis on the cattle vaccination, which I very much welcome, is because the UK government are looking at what alternatives they have. And if you look at the areas where they have culled badgers, they still have bovine TB. So I think that is a very important point. I have raised the lack of farms, well, no farms participating in Wales in the trials with both the NFU and the FUW. And I mentioned in my early answer to Kevin Campbell that the Chief Veterinary Officer had attended NFU's TB focus group and it was raised there, and I'm sure they will do all they can to encourage farms in the low TB area to participate.
Sam Rowlands.
And thank you to the Minister for today's statement. Minister, as you'll be aware, farms throughout North Wales play a huge role supporting our local economy, communities and indeed our food chain. Many farmers that I've met with in recent months, alongside the NFU, have raised their concerns of the bovine TB eradication